Hello and welcome to the Tech Inner Circle. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use all the different bits and pieces of the Tech Inner Circle, what they're for, why you might want to use them, and most importantly, how to actually do it. So this is my desktop on my laptop. I'm going to be showing you how it works on the laptop, but the website will work just the same on tablets and even on smartphones, if you like. You'll just have different sized screens, so things might be slightly more squashed or spread out, but they'll work in almost exactly the same way. The only difference will be when I say click on something on this laptop. If you're on a tablet or a smartphone, you'll need to tap on it instead. So I'm going to start by opening my internet browser. It doesn't matter which internet browser you use. I'm going to be using Microsoft Edge, which is this one here, but I could equally use Chrome or Firefox or Safari on an iPad, whichever one gets you to the internet. So if I open Microsoft Edge, lots of news headlines, and then I need to click in this search or enter web address bar at the top. I'll just zoom in so you can see. And I need to type in Tech Inner Circle, no spaces or dashes, and it's all lowercase. You might notice, as it has here, that because I've been to Tech Inner Circle before, it's filled it in for me on the screen, and I can just hit return for it to take me there. If you haven't been before, you probably won't get this, so make sure you type in techinnercircle.co.uk as is written here. I'll just finish it now. And hit the return key. Hopefully it won't take too long. There we go. And you know you're in the right place because there's this big banner at the top of the screen that says Tech Inner Circle with the Helpful Book Company. That's us, hello, on either side of it. And the title of the page says Hello and Welcome. So this welcome page has some of the most recent things on it that we've posted. So articles in the library, if I scroll down a little, these are some of our most recent things. If I scroll down again, the latest journal posts. And in the cinema, we've got our latest videos. I'll explain more about each of these areas as we go. If I scroll back up again, I'll just show you how to access one of these posts from the welcome page. So for example, this keyboard shortcut, smiley faces and symbols. I'm not going to try and pronounce those letters. You can see it's got the picture at the top here. It's got the title of the post in blue, which is underlined when you hover the mouse over it. And you've got this continue reading button. You can click on any of those to get to the post. You might notice there's a little message that says, this content is exclusive to Inner Circle members. Please enter the ... So you'll see that whenever I click on a post, whether it's the picture, the title, or the continue reading, it loads for a second. And then you'll see a page like this if it's the first time you've come to the website. It says that this content is exclusive to Inner Circle members. That's you. And to please enter the Inner Circle code in the box below. So we will have sent you the Inner Circle code for this month when you first joined. We change it on a monthly basis, and we usually send the code out by email on the 28th of the previous month. If you've forgotten the password, or you can't find the email that it came in, or you fairly sure that you've typed the right password in, but it's not letting you get to the content, you just drop us an email at queries@techinacircle.co.uk, or you can give us a ring and speak to one of us and we'll get you sorted. However, I'm going to put the password in and click on enter. And it's loaded my article. Now, sometimes your browser will ask you if you want to save the password. You'll get a little box like one of these, asking if you want your browser, so Chrome or Edge or Firefox or whatever, asking if you want them to remember the password. And you want to click on the no option, whether that's never or just a little cross to get rid of the box. You don't want the browser to remember it for two reasons. First of all, because our website's quite clever, so once you've visited the first time and typed in your password, you shouldn't need to do it again after that, at least until the password changes. Which leads me nicely on to reason number 2, is that our password changes every month, and your browser might not necessarily know that, and it could quite easily get a bit confused. So if you ignore that message, you can then get on to looking at the actual content. So we've got the title at the top. We've got a big picture here of the symbols and emoji faces. We've got the text. And we've got detailed instructions for how to do it. I'm not expecting you to read all of this as I scroll, by the way. This is just to show you the general idea of how it all works, and you can come back in your own time and have a proper read. So that was me looking at one of the most recent posts. If I click on Home at the top left here, it'll take me back to that welcome page that I was on before. So this recent stuff can be very useful, certainly as a starting point. But you might want to look back at some of the past things that we've posted, or you might be looking for something specific. So we've got some categories along the top of the screen here. First one is journal. Now, journal generally works as a sort of diary or a blog, if you're familiar with blogs. We generally use it for short snippets of news or information. If I click on journal, there we go. We've got things that tend to be quite timely or that are relevant at the time that we post them. So, for example, we've got this question about installing updates during the coronavirus, which is very timely. That hopefully won't be relevant for the rest of time. You're probably unlikely to want to go back through them. There's also the hello post from me there. That's me who's talking to you. I'm Catherine. Hello. If we go back up to the top of the screen, you've also got the library. So if I click on library, might take a second. There we go. We tend to use the library for longer items, so how-to guides for how to use various bits of technology and software. Let's see if I scroll down a little bit. We've got some ebooks for all you might need to know about music, radio and podcasts on your various devices. If we look at the What is WhatsApp post, so again we've got introduction. We've got this link in blue which takes you to another page. You can click on and go straight there. It's just telling you all about the app, WhatsApp, what you use it for, how to set it up, and whether you should use it. If I just use the back arrow to go back now. That takes me back to the library. And now I want to show you an ebook to explain what they are and why we have them here. I'll use this music, radio and podcasts one as an example. We tend to use ebooks for subjects that need a bit more detail than just an article. It's generally a how-to guide for example, how to listen to music on your smartphone, your tablet, whether that's radio, streaming music services, podcasts, all that kind of thing. Occasionally we will take books that we already sell, so Making the Miles Fade here, for example. We sell that in print, and we decided to make it available as an ebook for our Inner Circle members as well, because we think it's useful. But these ebooks are only available for Inner Circle members. So if I click on Continue Reading for the music ebook, this page gives me a brief idea of what it's about. If you'd rather print it out, you can open it here and then send the document to your printer. I'm just going to click on here. It does sometimes take a little while to load. There we go. And here's my ebook on music, radio and podcasts. And again, if I click the back arrow, it takes me back to the Tech Inner Circle website. If I scroll back up to the top of the screen, you'll notice in these categories across the top, next to the word library is a little downward arrow. And that shows that there are some options within library. If I hover the mouse over it, the first option is Browse the Library. This is very handy. We decided that instead of you needing to search through everything we've ever posted in the library, we decided to make it much easier to navigate to the things that you need. So, for example, if you're looking for help specifically with your smartphone or your laptop or a particular device, you can use these links here. If there's a particular topic you're looking for help on, so things like online security or photos and videos, for example, we've put some of the common ones here. And then at the bottom, we've got links to browse all of our ebooks, all of our quick guides, and all of our Word to the Wise. Now, these links are the same as the ones in that drop-down menu of library. If I quickly show you Word to the Wise. This is a place for general jargon you might have come across. Explains the concept of downloading, ransomware, any techie things that you might have heard of and wondered what they are. This is the place to find it. I can show you the cinema. Now the cinema is where we put all of our videos. You'll see the welcome video in here somewhere, I'm sure. And it's also where we put our Inner Circle TV. Inner Circle TV is a monthly thing where Mike and Jess and sometimes Laura or some of the rest of us will sit down and record a video that people will hopefully find interesting and helpful. Sometimes it's a how-to guide on how to use a particular type of technology or a particular app or bit of software. Sometimes it's about a technical problem that's been in the news or something that we've been asked about a lot. If a lot of people are having the same questions, we think it's probably going to help a lot of people to talk about this stuff. Again, this is only for our Inner Circle members. So, for example, if I wanted to look at our favourite Christmas tips that we recorded in December, I can click on the title or on the continue reading. If I scroll down a little bit, we get to the video here. So there's an introduction to what the video is about. Underneath a lovely picture of Jess looking very cheerful. And underneath we have the video. And all you need to do to play the video is click on this red play symbol in the middle of the screen. I'm not going to do that because it might get confusing, but that's how you would do it. If I go back to the top again, the next thing I want to talk about is the club room. This is one of the big benefits of Inner Circle membership. So the club room is a place where you can ask questions, whether those are technical questions, questions about things you might want us to write about or do a TV episode about. And you can also see what other members have asked, and you can either say, yes, me too, I'm having the same problem. Or if you've found a solution or you know how to solve it, you can chime in as well and give them any advice you might have. And when you ask your questions, one of us being myself, Mike or Jess, will be able to get back to you and hopefully be able to offer you a solution. So if I scroll down a little, this is our Ask Us a Question box. I'll come back to how exactly you do that in just a moment. So if I keep scrolling, we've got some comments. We've got one from Ron at the top here, asking a question about a Wi-Fi connection. We have Mary wanting to use Zoom, that's gotten very popular recently, and so on. And here we've got an example of a question that's been asked by Ron, and then we have Jess's response. And if you look closely at Jess's response, you'll see it's indented a little, so it's pushed over a bit further to the right than Ron's question, which shows that it's a response directly to his question. That just lets you know that it's a reply rather than someone else asking another question. And you'll also notice that Jess has a little picture of herself next to her comment to show that it's her. You might notice that instead of a picture, Ron has got this funny little pattern of blue and white shapes. This is a clever little thing that the computer does, where it generates a unique little square pattern for you that will accompany all of your questions so that you know it's you. Or if you like, you can set up your own little picture, if you want to, of yourself or of something that represents you. It might be your grandchildren or your dog. If it were me, it would probably be my dog. And we've made a video to show you how to do that, and we've put the link to the video showing you how to make a photo for yourself underneath this video. As I say, it's not compulsory. You can do it if you like, or you can leave it. It's entirely up to you. So if I go back up to the comment box at the top of the screen, I'll show you the basics of how to leave a comment. So we've got the big box labelled comment, where if I click in here, This is where I describe the problem that I'm having. So let's say, hello, I'm having trouble with my printer. It's printing everything in Swedish. So that tells us the general gist of the problem. And then if I go further down, I need to put in my name. That's just so we know how to address you. Rather than saying, hello stranger, we can say, hello Mary, or hello Ron, or whoever. So I'll put in a name. That's me. And then need to put in the email address. Now, don't worry, your email address won't be shown to anyone else on the Clubroom. It's just for us, so that when we reply to your comment, you'll get a little email notification saying that someone's replied, and that way you don't have to sit around at the computer all day waiting for a response. So if I scroll down a little further, there's these two little boxes at the bottom where you can tell us what type of device you're using that's causing the problem. So whether it's a laptop, a tablet, a smartphone, a printer, whatever. The second one is usually quite helpful if you're able to find out, is the make and model of your device. So, for example, there are hundreds of different kinds of smartphone, and a lot of them do have little differences between how they look and how they work. So if you're able to tell us that it's a Samsung phone and it's running on Android 9, that's really helpful for us to be able to figure out what the problem is and how to solve it. And once you've put all that information in, you can click on Post Comment here, and it will appear in the list of comments on the Clubroom. I'm not going to do that because my printer isn't printing in Swedish, thankfully. So instead I'm just going to delete the information I've put in because we don't need it. But that's generally how you do it. The other thing I want to show you is how to reply to someone else's comment. So say you've left a comment and one of us has responded and given you some suggestions and you want to say, yes, that solved it, that's brilliant, thank you. Or, no, that didn't work, what else can we do? Or even if you just want to say that, yes, I had the same thing as Barbara. If you scroll down to the comments, you'll notice this little curly arrow button in the top right corner. This is the reply button. If I click that for Ron's problem, annoyingly it's pushed me down the screen, but if I scroll up, either using the mouse wheel or the scroll bar on the right hand side, now, it doesn't look much different from the Ask Us a Question box, except for in blue over here next to the Ask Us a Question title, it says Cancel Reply. That tells you that it's a reply to someone's question rather than a whole new one. And you do it in exactly the same way. You type your response in the comment box, add your name, email, etc., and click Post Comment. Now I don't want to do that, so I'm going to click on the Cancel Reply button. You don't need to click Cancel Reply unless you change your mind and you don't want to leave a comment anymore. If I scroll back to the top of the screen again, the next one in our line of categories is Member Help. And this will take you to a page that's pretty much a good place to start. You should see our video here that I'm recording right now. This might be a slightly earlier version that I'm looking at here, but you should have this shiny new one. There's equally a text version of the Get Started video that says pretty much the same thing, just in text form, if you prefer to read instructions rather than watching a video, or if you want to print out a record of it to come back to in case you ever get stuck, you can use this post instead. It's got the members handbook. This should be arriving to you in the post any day now if it hasn't already, but there's an electronic version in case that one gets lost, or if you'd rather just have it on screen. If I scroll down a little, here's the post about setting up your own Gravatar, which is that little patterned picture that will go next to your comments on the club room. We've got introducing the team here with those 3 cute little dogs to show you who we are, what we do, a few interesting facts about us, so that you know we're actual people and not just pictures on a screen. Got a very useful bit here called Contact Us, and this is very useful if you're needing to let us know about a change of address to send your items, or if you need to change your payment method, for example, for your Inner Circle membership. We wouldn't want you to be putting your sensitive information onto a website, so instead we've got a page where if I click on it, it tells you how best to get in touch with us, the email address by post if you really want to send us a letter, or cake always goes down well, or a phone number, which is usually the best way if you're having any problems with an order. And then there's our main website as well. So if you're having technical difficulties, the club room is definitely the best place to go. If you're having trouble with an order, or you need to change some important details, I'd definitely advise calling this number or emailing us at this address. If I go back to the top of the screen, we've got a search function, which can be very useful if I follow that link. So if, for example, you remembered there was a really useful post about keyboard shortcuts, you could click in this box, type in keyboard, and click on search. This will bring up anything we have about keyboards. So we have an ebook about your PC keyboard, a new shortcut that we've come across, a general guide to using shortcuts that I showed you earlier. Pretty much anything that involves keyboards. However, if I go back, say I remembered that it was specifically a journal post or a library post about keyboards, you can type in the word keyboard and you can use this drop-down menu to choose the type of post. So if it was a video about keyboards, I could click cinema and that would bring me only videos, or likewise if it was definitely an ebook, I can click ebooks and so on. And that helps you if it was definitely something specific. And the last category is the More drop-down menu here. And we've got 2 links there. The first one is Our Books, and that takes you to the regular company website rather than the Inner Circle one. And we've got the Helpful Tech Tips archive, which I'll show you now. And that takes you to the Helpful Tech Tips website, which is where, if you've already signed up for our newsletter, you can look at the recent newsletters that we've sent, or if there's a particular tip that you remember getting but you can't be bothered to search for it in your inbox, you can search for it here in this search box. Or if you want to sign someone else up for the free tips and advice, you can use the form here to sign them up to the newsletter. I'm just going to pop back to the Inner Circle website now using the back button. So that's taken me back to the search page, And there's one other thing I want to let you know about. If you're struggling to find the Contact Us post that we put in Member Help, anywhere on our website, pretty much on any page, if you scroll down to the very bottom, you'll see this Contact Us link here in blue, and if you click on that, might take a second, and it will take you to that post. So you should always be able to find how to ring us or email us or generally get in touch. So that's pretty much it for how to use the Tech Inner Circle website. Do feel free to have a go. You don't need to look at everything that we've put on there. There won't be a test, and it would take you quite a while. I'd recommend having a look around and see what you can find. So, welcome to the Tech Inner Circle. I really hope you find it useful and hopefully interesting. And thank you for watching.